Ann from Teach Pre-K, and like many of you, right now I am on my winter break. I started my break on the 14th of December, so I've been on break for quite a while. I go back in less than a week, in 6 days, on the 2nd of January. So I'm starting to get a little antsy. I've been gone a long time. As weird as this is to say, I'm kind of ready to get back, but I'm reviewing in my head the things that I want to do when I get back. And since I've been teaching so many years, I know that with 3 and 4 year old children, you have to review your procedures and just the run of your day, the little rules that you have, and the things that you have in place to make your classroom management work. So, right now is a good time to kind of, maybe take 10 or 15 minutes to think about what procedures you might want to really, really review and maybe change, what procedures you want to keep the same, but how you want to review them, and what kind of atmosphere you want those kids to be walking into on the first day. You're going to be excited to see them. They're going to be super excited to see you. There might be a little anxiety, a little separation issues with parents, things like that, because they have been away from school for quite a while. So, my classroom management for that first week consists of making sure first what I can control is me. And I need to make sure that I am fully prepared, if not for the entire first week, but that first day. Everything needs to be prepped. My books need to be out and ready. My job chart needs to be ready. My room needs to be ready to go. Every single thing needs to be done. That is something I'm in control of, and that is something I can take care of really easily. And I'm sure you can too. So, first and foremost, as you're lesson planning, I want you to make a little list of the things that you need to have prepped for the entire week. Start with day one, get all of that done, make the copies you need, cut out any little things that you need to cut out from paper, gather any supplies that you need, go out and purchase anything that you need, or do a quick Amazon order, and make sure that it will get here before the first day that you're back. But when I get to school, I know I can't control the kids, like their level of anxiety or their just general hyped upness. So I do what I can. I have a classroom speaker that is connected via Bluetooth to my iPhone, and I will pick some mellow music. I just go to the iTunes store. There are some classical music for kids accounts. There are some stations that are, and I know this sounds crazy, lullabies for kids that are just instrumental, and you put them on so they're audible but not loud, so that you can talk quietly and you don't have to talk over the music, but just make sure it's really, really mellow. I put out my tables of activities for my mini centers, and I try to make sure that everything is kind of more of a quiet activity. I'll put out Play-Doh at one table. I will put out maybe puzzles, and I'll ratchet those puzzles up a little. If I haven't brought out super challenging puzzles for the kids, now is the time I might put out one or two of the 6 that I put out that are a little bit more challenging for those kids who are super excited and ready to show me what they've learned over their break, because they all do so much at home with their parents. It's awesome to see. And then on my third table, I will pick some kind of building toy with manipulatives that's quiet. I might use foam blocks, so if they knock the towers over, it's a quiet knockover. I might use bristle blocks, something that I know that they're going to get into and enjoy, but won't come crashing down super loud, just to keep that first little, 15, 20 minutes when the kids are coming in, to keep it really mellow. Another thing that I will do is I will make sure that I station myself at the door, and when I greet the kids, I am going to greet them very calmly. I might be so excited to see them. I want to just hug them and say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to see you. How was Christmas?" But I will just say, "Hi, Nicholas. I've missed you. I'm so glad you're here. We have some fun things to play with in here." If they want to come give me a hug, I'll let them do that. If they're struggling, I'll help their parents out and do what I need to get them comfortable, because I might have some criers. It's super typical. So we'll have them come in and we'll do our normal beginning of the day activities. And we'll keep it very low key. Then, and we will remind them of our procedures. Get your name, put it in the pocket chart, go to one of the three tables. I will continue to remind them what we're supposed to be doing. A lot of them are going to be super excited to see each other, and they're just going to want to tackle each other and roll on the rug and everything that usually happens. And that is my time to, in a nice, quiet voice, just go behind them and say, "Okay, we're playing at these tables now. Okay, I know you're happy to see each other. I'm happy to see you guys too. Let's go to a table." And that's usually all it takes. When I know that cleanup time is coming, I have a light helper that will announce our 1 minute warning and our cleanup time. I'm going to do a warning before that. And I am going to remind them it's almost time for our 1 minute warning. If there are some tables that you haven't visited, or if you haven't had a chance to go color, because they can always color, why don't you do that now? Because we have just a few more minutes. And that'll give the kids a little hint. Because usually when they're not cleaning up, it's because they're seeing something else they want to do. And it's like, "Oh no, I didn't do that. And it's time to clean up. What should I do?" So I give them that opportunity. Then we'll do our 1 minute warning. Then we'll do our time to clean up. After my light helper tells them it's time to clean up, I'm going to come on again and say, "Okay, remember, everyone cleans up at cleanup time." If kids start going to the rug, I go over to the rug, and again, I just go, "Oh, hey, will you clean that up? Will you get that piece of paper there? Oh, look, there's a puzzle piece under there. Do you think you could reach it? I can't reach it." I'll give them really specific or special jobs to do if they're struggling with getting back into that routine. A lot of times I go so far as to say, "You're so good at taking these apart. I've noticed that about you," and I'll get them to clean up a certain area. Or I might bring out my cleanup bags or my cleanup buckets, which are just some buckets and bags from the dollar store that I keep, a few of in my back room, and bring them out for when cleanup time is a struggle because I think they're special. Um, so that's your first real transition besides coming in. We sing our regular song to get to the rug. And when we come to the rug, I bring out, I'm going to show you guys my on the rug posters. I've got little boy, little girl. If you have my classroom decor set, you've already got these in like every single color. But I'm going to leave a link to a freebie that's going to have all these tips on what to do when you're returning back to school. Plus, it's going to have these and one more thing that I'm going to show you. But I've got these rules on the rug, and I'll bring this out and I'll go, "Oh, let's see. Oh, yeah. Johnny's got his watching eyes. Can you guys point to your eyes? Can you look at me with those eyes? Oh, and look, Kate's got these listening ears. Can you guys grab your ears?" So I'm kind of going back to the first day, and I go through this whole way that we sit on the rug. Another thing that I have, ooh, things are falling down here, is I have half sheets, and these will be included in the freebie that I will leave a link for. But it's my rules on the rug, and it's everything that was on the poster. It's like we might go through these slowly and go, "Okay, show me your watching eyes. Your eyes should be on your teacher right now." Yeah. And listening ears. Can everybody make sure they can hear what I'm saying? And I try to do this in the quietest voice, because then they have to stop talking so they can hear what I'm saying. Oh, lips. We got to zip them up. Let's grab our zipper. And hands to ourself. I know we miss our friends and we love our friends, but right now we're not going to be touching anybody's body. And I do this little thing with them. I say, "Okay, put your hands together. Make them best buddies," and they're going to give each other a hug, and they're going to sit in your lap and just be friends in your lap. And sitting on your pockets. You can sit like this. You can sit like a mermaid, and I go over how I let them sit. Another thing that I will go over is, let's talk about the rules of our classroom. We have just three big rules of our classroom. And I think we might have forgotten them on our break. We've got to use our inside voice, our walking feet, and keep our hands to ourself. This is also included in the freebie along with this little, I've got these on a little binder ring, and it's just the exact same thing. And you can put these anywhere in your classroom. And if somebody is yelling, you can go, inside voice. Let's use our inside voice. Walking feet, walking feet. I think, yeah, you pushed someone, you got to use, keep your hands to yourself. So those are included. Again, link will be in the description. But I go through all of those things because those are important. And for that first circle time, that first time we're on the rug after this long break, I have got to make sure that sitting and listening is not the main thing they're doing. We are going to do things where we stand up and we jump and count, or we are going to do a little freeze dance to maybe a winter song because our theme is winter. We're going to get up and stretch. We're going to do wiggle our fingers and do a wiggle our fingers game. But we are definitely going to work some things in where we are doing some movement, some going up, some sitting back down, along with just sitting and listening. So we've got some standing and listening, moving and listening, and sitting and listening, because it's going to be really hard for all of us, myself included, to get back in to sitting down and talking to the kids or them being quiet, because it's just not easy. It's not easy for any of us. I've had a really nice time being quiet, and I'm going to have to talk all the time in a week. And they've had a really nice time being little chatterboxes, and they're going to have to be quiet when their teacher's talking. And that is so hard. Along with making sure you're prepared, you need to make sure you have the books that you're going to read ready, and you're not leaving those kids. They are going to need your attention more than you can imagine. One thing I like to do is just like practice raising a quiet hand. So we talk about what raising a quiet hand is. And let's do it now. Let's practice raising a quiet hand. So lips are zipped, hand in the air, and everyone's going to get a turn. You might have to wait, but I'll call on you and I want you to tell me something you did over your long break that you had. I spent a lot of time with my family and it was so much fun. So we will do that. Then we're getting close to center time. I need to make sure that my centers aren't overwhelming. My free centers, I do not want them to have like thousands of Legos. I do not want them to have so many things in dramatic play. They're just going to go there and throw it all on the ground. I try to limit and think less is more, and maybe bring some more things out later during the week if they've done well with a few little props and toys at the beginning. I make sure I have enough so that everybody can participate, but I just don't want to overwhelm them. The holiday season is super overwhelming. When they left, we had Elf on the Shelf, we had Santa's Workshop, we had parties, we had song practice, and so many things. It was so overstimulating. And then they're home and they've got all the activities and the family and the loudness and the food and it's overstimulating for them too. So I want it to all be very simple and easy for me to quickly explain every one of my free centers and remind them what our rules for playing in those free centers are. Super quick. I like to have really engaging but calm teacher centers that first day. But they have got to be very playful and really be showstoppers. Like the kids want to come to these centers because they're just getting back to school and it has got to be enticing. I want them to go home and go, wow, school was fun. Like I forgot how fun school was. So that is my goal. But I also, again, we are all jumping back in. I don't want them to be overstimulated. Then I'll give another pre-warning before my warning. So if there's one of the free centers, because they're all going to be new, that they haven't been to. I want them to have that chance. So they're going to hear, okay, in a couple of minutes, it's going to be one more minute and then clean up. So go to a center that you've wanted to go to and you haven't had a chance to play in yet. And a lot of times, because my classes are kind of smaller, I won't have the necklaces. And I'll tell them that, and I'll be like, if you're doing well today without the necklaces that do my crowd control, I have 4 necklaces at all my centers, we might be able to keep that up for a while. I actually stopped using them before the break, and it worked out pretty well. It worked out pretty well. Everyone just knew they could go where they wanted, and if they felt it was too crowded, they would go ahead and leave themselves. So they're really learning to police themselves, and that's great. So we've got our next transition, which is cleaning up. I'm just going to go back to everything that I did my first cleanup time. I'm going to remind them that it's time for everybody to clean up. I'll bring out the buckets and bags if I have to. I've got my cleanup baskets for dramatic play and blocks. Those are always excellent. I will give the kids specific or special jobs during cleanup time if they're struggling getting back into the routine of that. And we're going to do that every day that whole first week, just to get them back into the routine. We're all going to need just a little learning curve there that first little while. We will transition back to the rug, so I'll do my song to come to the rug again. And for my class, we then transition to outside time. And lining up, especially in the winter, it's a little crazy. I have lots of coats, hats, scarves, depending on the weather. I might have snow pants and snow boots to put on everybody too. So, like it or not, this is when my smartboard comes in handy, and I put something on the smartboard that I know they're going to watch. Usually it's something about winter. We do the snowy day first thing, so I'll show the snowy day video. I will have already read the book, so this is just refreshing the book for the kids. So I'll do that while myself and my aide are getting them all ready to go outside. Then we will talk about, and I will model how I go from the rug to the line and just wait. Even though waiting can be really hard, I wait quietly without touching. I remember those big 3. I use my walking feet to go to the rug. I use an inside voice and then no voice when I'm on the rug, and I keep my hands to myself. Once we are in the line, here's another thing, guys. If someone runs to the line, or if they're like, rah, I'll say, oh, let's try this again. Let's practice again. I know you've got this. Remember, let's just walk quietly. And I do it in a way that's not shaming, that doesn't like draw all this attention like, oh, he's doing the bad thing. It is, they just need some more practice. We haven't been here for a while. Duh, that makes perfect sense. So I get them to practice walking to the line again if they went there like a crazy person. And then the other kids see, oh, I'm going to have more practice time if I don't do this the right way. And I will remind them of that. Oh, remember yesterday, Katie had to go back to the rug and practice again. So let's see if we can all do it right the first time. Then I have a little song that I sing. It's called When the Line is Quiet, We Will Go. We are quiet in the line. Your eyes should be on mine. When the line is quiet, we will go. I do it to the same tune as When You're Happy. And you know what? If you get my freebie, it'll be in there, along with all of these tips I'm sharing with you today, just as a really good refresher to bring with you on that first day or pull out after spring break, and you'll have a really good grip on what you need to do. Then we just practice walking quietly up the line, outside. We line up again. We make sure I sing the song again. We're quiet in the line. And then we head back downstairs, have a little story. I bring the rug posters out again, say, okay, let's see, remember this? We saw this earlier. And they're all sitting, we read our story, then we're gonna have our snack. And I explain our snack procedures. And remember, we need to say thank you to so-and-so who brought snack, but can we also say thank you to Mrs. Saber, our aide, who put the snack out? If you want more snack, you need to ask with the please. And when you get your snack, what do you think you say? And they're all like, thank you. When you're done, your placemat goes in the tray that's on the round table. I pointed out, your water bottle goes in your backpack. I'll help you if you need help. So I reviewed it. During snack, I'm walking around talking to the kids. How was your break? What was your favorite Christmas present? We're getting to know each other again, getting in the groove of being a class again. Then I make sure that I either have someone on the rug who's going to read a story for my finishers after they put their placemat away, put their water bottle in their backpack. If their ride isn't here to pick them up, they're going to go to the rug, and we're either going to read a book with the teacher, or I'm going to put some other educational little video on for the kids to just be occupied and quiet with. And they are going to be reminded that this is our time to be quiet while everyone's finishing snacks so they can hear the show or the story. When your ride gets here, we will call your name and you will go. If you're going to extended day, your backpack's in the room. Go get your backpack, get your coat. We're ready to go. So I have got all these tips right here, along with the little posters and the binder ring cards of the big three and the rules on the rug. And those are free. I've got the link in my description. But remember, you almost need to treat your return after this long break, because this is the longest break we have during the year, as kind of another first week of school. You're going to see a lot of the same things that you saw. Your 3-year-olds would have grown up a lot, but there's also going to be a little classroom regression. They're going to forget a lot of things. They're going to forget the steps. I've had moments where I've been on the rug and I'm like, oh gosh, what do I do now? What do I do with these kids? So just make sure you're super prepared. You start your day off as calm as you can, and you will have a great return. So start thinking about it now. Start getting a little bit prepared now. Do not take a whole day and do school stuff. No, thank you. It's your break. Take 10 minutes, take 15 minutes, and another day take 30 minutes. Prep that whole art project you've got going for the first day. I know that's what I'm going to do. Tomorrow I am going into my classroom and I'm going to start getting it ready. I'm going to start making my list of what I need, start compiling everything, get my books ready. I already did a lot of prepping for my free centers before I left, so those are pretty ready to go. So that should be good. But good luck, you guys. Good luck, because it's a rough one. And again, click the link to the freebie. I will ask for your email address and it will go to your email, but you are free to unsubscribe anytime. I do not send emails 2 and 3 times a week. I am actually pretty bad at remembering to send emails, but every once in a while I want people to have some fun free stuff that will really help them in their classroom. So if you stay subscribed, you will periodically get some really awesome freebies that won't be available on my Teachers Pay Teacher store. Anyway, thanks for listening and watching.